Hello, everybody. It's me again. um, Welcome. Here we are, awaiting confirmation from our dearest Chelsea that we are seen and heard. And yeah, it's Spire night. Let's do it. So what do we have going on today? Oh, we've got a poem. I think Ava was going to read the poem.
Yes, I was. I am present and here. It's Thursday. It's Spire. We're all here united. I don't know about you, but I'm very excited. Hey, shout out. Dead bodies have been found. The mystery has been stirred. The dice rolls will not shatter, and demonic summonings have occurred. Looking forward to all this and more, and this season arc chunk too. Much love, Spire crew. I can see and hear you.
Yay!
Oh,
Thank you,
Yay.
Chelsea.
thank you,
Always,
Chelsea.
always a highlight. We appreciate. Yes, so happily we are seen and heard, and everybody's here and present, it's good. And we're gonna do stress levels for in-game. I'm just teasing. I can't help it. Stress levels, in-game stress. If you, as always, please feel free to tell us if you would like to share your out of game stress levels. It's always invited.
Definitely thought you were about to say out of body stress
You
levels.
know what? Those two. I don't judge. Whatever stress you're bringing to the table, including in-game stress, you're welcome to share. But at minimum, I need your in-game stress. And then we will have Sam and Rachel tell us what Alvi and Edik are taking their knacks in this week, and then we'll do a recap and we'll jump in. So, and then wait, there's also other helpful goat programming. Tomorrow is Fates of Rin. Hey,
Yep.
tomorrow's Fates of Rin is 7 o'clock Mountain Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And then next week there will be other things like Goats of Saltmarsh, maybe?
On Wednesday, yeah, you can hear some amazing vocal stylings of Matt, who's decided I've allowed to voice all of the sailors on their ship. So
That's
that's
excellent.
fun.
And then more Spire on Thursday, and then Tier Moon Tree City coming up on next Friday.
Spoilers for those who haven't
Oh
seen it
fuck!
yet, which is quite a
Which
few
is,
people.
you know what? Nobody watches Spire. It's fine.
For sure, Joel does.
I'm sorry, Joel. Listen, that's not a spoiler. Listen, I'm sorry. I don't think about spoilers. I'm a bad human. And yeah, we're gonna get started tonight. I promise I won't talk about tier anymore because you can't trust me. So let's go. Let's get stress levels. Rauka, you are on the top of my pile.
Okie dokie. I got 3 stress, and then if you need to know where they are, it's
One
1 to
mind.
mind and then 2 to reputation.
Sweet, thank you. Edik.
Haha. 4 blood stress.
Okay, that's what I thought. Good. Chew.
I have 2 stress, 1 to mind and 1 to silver.
And let's just go ahead and put back on the table that you have 3 fans, Ken, Dan, and Itchy Jim, who
Yes.
are now present as part of the world. Din, any stress?
So I have 3, but I have resistance for all of them. So
Okay, so no.
none.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Chelsea, I'm the Mark Ruffalo of helpful goat. Leaking everything. I mean, listen, naming a place in the world is not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Alvi, do you have any stress?
I
It's
do
a
not.
huge deal.
Okay. All right, good. Then Rachel and Sam, whoever knows, whichever of you knows, whatever your knack is going to be.
Yeah, I'm putting my knack in investigate,
Okay.
and it's gonna be as far as seeking objects that have demonic energy.
Okay. So like looking for things is typically, well, okay. Um Yeah, that's fine. And it, like seeking kind of implies like the pursuit, so it can't be a pursue skill. It'll have to be like in places, investigate, like in order to find things in that space with demonic. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Rachel.
Can I do it in something like fix, where I can like fix, help to try and heal my? Does fix not heal people?
Fix heals
If I
people.
could like try and like heal my compatriots that have been
Yeah.
fucked up in some way.
Yes.
I think
So fix primarily works. Oh, we lost Sam. Fix primarily works to fix blood stress, so it's like first aid, patching people up kind of stuff. But yes,
yeah.
so other types of stress can't necessarily be fixed, but you can use fix also on like armor and things like that to like patch things up so that you can gain resistance spots back. So you're also welcome to use just so everybody knows, you can make those fix rolls. Just remember it can make more stress if you fail. So yes, so Rachel's knack will be in healing people using fix the skill. Okay. Let's do a recap. What happened last time?
Rauka
Thing.
fell unconscious.
Super easy.
Yeah, you
Nothing
did.
bad happened.
You mean Rauka got the opportunity to go on a super cool puppet stealth adventure? Because I think that's what you meant.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, words right out of my mouth. So then Din, Alvi, and Edic followed a few guards, drow guards, and some gnolls that possessed what we assume was the either likely faulty eidolon. And then in our pursuit, we went down an alleyway, and upon turning a corner, were immediately ambushed by a series of, or I guess it was just 2 guards. But we ended up successfully distracting them after their leader came out and started basically accosting us. And that's like the end from my party's side of things. If we want to hear from the puppet adventure.
Yeah, puppet adventure. Okay. So Rauka was passed out, and I took the opportunity to disintegrate a doorknob / lock with little smooches. And then we went inside the super evil secret lab. I remember I had to like wait because I thought somebody may come through, like through the door. And so I was waiting there, and eventually I managed to wake him up. And then we continued to explore. We found an in the like the super secret lab room, there were like these glass domes that seemed like they had attempted demon summonings inside, or like they were trying to like fuse demons into objects or something. I don't really know how it works. And then there was one of them that had like an explosion had happened inside, like either it was successful or maybe like the vessel exploded or something, and there were a bunch of bones in there, and Rauka was like, I'm gonna stick my hand in that, and Rauka did, and then Rauka got gashed, and then Rauka went to go open a door, I think, and got a splinter also. We
did
explored
happen.
the rest of the place, and there was like nothing there except for like a jar, maybe. I don't remember exactly that part. Tyler, if you wanna.
You mean this third room?
Yeah, the third room.
There's definitely something there.
Is there a
We
person?
found I believe it was crates of ice boxes, or was each crate its own individual ice box?
Each crate was its own box, yeah, but they're kind of all stacked together and
Okay.
stored together, yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I had popped the lid on one of them. I believe it was the last thing that happened that session was I popped the lid and we found some, I believe, dismembered corpses.
Yes, specifically drow corpses.
Yes. Which I have recently come to know that this is not typical of the morticians, for any of y'all who were wondering. So that's Yep. Everything's fine.
Yes. All right, so that does catch us up to exactly where we left off. Was Rauka opened the ice chest and found chopped up body parts from drow people.
And
So
the
I
rest
think
of the party showed up.
yes, the rest of the party did show up, and I think you were all kind of following through, like saw the open door and everything. So I think it was because everybody was kind of gathered at this point. So if you all want to move your tokens all together into the this one room where Chu and Rauka and Din are.
Can we retcon that right when
I-
you open? Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say I would not have yet joined the
okay.
party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Can we retcon that, like, right as you open the box, Chu looks in and is like, good thing I didn't throw a party in here. Like, I would have been a real
Oh,
smooth
God.
killer. Party in the crate graveyard.
Great graveyard.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
So I
Mhm.
didn't
Yep.
I didn't have too much plans, but as far as like going in, I definitely think that upon seeing these like massive vats, and one of them looks like it had been like exploded somewhat, um I think I would like to do a brief little investigation check to see like
Mhm.
if I can determine what the purpose of these things was and what like they might have been trying to create or whatever the case is.
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigate. You can take your knack and occult.
All right, so that will be
4d10.
4d10. Here we go.
If you do you have investigate?
Yes.
Okay, then yes, 4d10.
Did it roll? Okay, it rolled. And there's a 10
There's a 10.
and a
Okay.
bunch of fails. So I'm like glad.
Yes. Okay, so you kind of take a minute, and it's dark in here without because remember they had been using Chu's stage light to see into these
Yep.
things.
Right.
So it takes you a little bit of time, but despite that, you kind of like rely on senses besides sight that really help you kind of like suss out what's going on. And as you look into one of these kind of bell-like structures on top of this wooden base, you are reasonably certain that these are used to create eidolons. That the intention is to if you're kind of in fact like that would be like a normal success is like yes they were making eidolons here with your natural or with your like critical success. I think the added like benefit of this is that this is also you kind of gain the sense from like looking at like the way that this is set up, the proximity of all of this stuff in the other room where you kind of like poke your head out and see like there's evidence that on these tables in the other room and the storage of other stuff that not only is it the creation of eidolons, but there is an interest in streamlining the process of creating eidolons. That it's not just we want to make an eidolon, which is hard enough in the first place, but we want to figure out the science of creating eidolons effectively and efficiently. And so this is kind of a laboratory in which experiments are happening to streamline or mass produce eidolons.
This is most interesting. I guess knowing that, how expeditious would you say that like my ability to like either craft them or like just to kind of create them is compared to like what it seems that they were doing here? Would this be like, oh, they're just starting off, or like, oh, they've made a lot of progress?
I think from what you can tell, you're kind of feeling somewhere in between. This is not brand new. But there's also a difference. Like your interest in creating eidolons doesn't seem to be aligned with whoever is doing this, their interest in creating eidolons. The stuff that you're looking at would create, especially in these three lower drums, that like the one you're standing next to and the one directly above and below it, would create very kind of low level connections, um, not particularly strong vessels. The one up here that had the body in it that Rauka pulled the bone out of seems different than the other ones. It seems like they were experimenting with maybe something stronger, certainly something that seemed to consume flesh in order to be created, which is both. I don't think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Edic's in the business of feeding demons flesh for yeah, so this is whatever they're making is both either weaker or in like a much darker vein than what Edic might choose to try to create eidolons for.
Okay. I feel like there's not much else that I can do in here, so I will now rejoin the party. Hello.
All right. In the
So
meantime, yeah, what was going on over here?
I basically came in last session just loudly talking for Rauka to try and find him and make sure if he is awake and all right. Because the last I'd seen him, he was passed out and horrible. So I'm assuming I run in here, and I don't really know what I can see from this vantage point, if anything is like obvious yet or not, in terms of like what's in the crates and things.
So you're like looking like to see like what Rauka is looking at, specifically like
Yeah.
looking at the yeah, I mean I think it doesn't I don't think it would take very much for you to quickly ascertain that this is Drow in here. Also, let's pause for just a second. We had questions in the chat from Chelsea and Lena just asking what eidolons are and how they work in Spire. So basically an eidolon is some sort of object that is a vessel into which demonic power is channeled and summoned from kind of, if you will, like a demonic plane or other world existence. And so they can be used to kind of summon and communicate with demons, but kind of think of like objects or sometimes people, as Rauka is an example of, that can house demonic or power, sometimes in the form of a demon, sometimes just in kind of abstract demonic power form. So they are usually very unstable. They don't last for a long time. They connect the user, the person who finds or creates them, to kind of one particular flavor of demonic ability. If that all makes sense. Does that ring true to how the other demonologists in the group understand eidolons?
Yeah, I mean, my eidolon, I'll just go real fast. My eidolon is the Penrose triangle, like amulet necklace that I have. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, in real life, eidolon is the Greek we get the word idol from. So it's actually like, yeah, this is the thing that you give power to get things out of, in like a worship sense. So that's how I've looked at it. Just
Yeah. All right. So anyway, sorry. Back to Alvi. You were just looking over.
Well, I would feel like. Well, I don't care about what was in. I don't think I would be actively looking.
What's in the box?
Right. I think it was more just like, oh, are you okay? Is everything? You're awake. You're walking. You.
One of his arms, there's a splinter just jutting out of one of his fingers, and like just some blood trickling down his hand. Like, I'm having a hard day.
Oh,
just gestures to the box.
Oh,
and then closes the lid.
That's.
I don't need to look at that. Yes,
she was
no,
gonna
it is.
Creep up behind you and just be like, nice. So good.
Can I try and just I know it won't like fix anything, but can I just take the splinter out of your hand and just be like, let's just gonna take this. You're fine. I promise it's fine. You can keep it if you'd like.
Fine. Yes.
I know it's
No, I'm okay.
okay. And
This is not a holy place.
that's fair. Yeah. No, this seems like the opposite of a holy place. Actually, it seems very, very, very
I
unholy.
I have good news for you, though. There are people, the people that were here, you would very much enjoy hunting down and murdering.
Oh, the people that we chased pushed me into a wall quite a lot. Actually, I was very, very hurt.
Oh,
Eric over here is also very, very hurt. They were very mean. We rounded a corner and we found them, and then he picked me up and he shoved me against a wall. And
Alfie, slow down. Who were you chasing? What?
Oh, right, you were already out by then, weren't you?
Yes. Yep.
So you collapsed, and with the whole collapsing process, it was a bit noisy.
Mhm.
Just a bit noisy. And Din over here saw quite a few people running away, and we chased them. I was going to stay back with you, but Chu assured me that that she would take great care of you, and it seems, splinters aside, it seems like you're doing fairly well.
The
So thank you.
splinters weren't my fault.
No, it was my fault. I was conscious for that.
That's good. An unconscious splintering doesn't seem like a good thing to have. So
No.
we chased them, Etik and Din and I, and we rounded a corner, and they noticed we were chasing them and attempted to fight us. And I'm not really a fighter so much in the right there, let me just punch you in the face kind of way. So
I am very good at fighting.
Yes,
Or well,
so
I can be. It
shame.
requires a bit of a blood sacrifice, but you know.
I am more of a the sculpture is mightier than the sword kind of person.
That's great, Etik. Just at the moment, the sculpture wasn't really helping while the guards were shoving us into the walls and things. But I
If you could
appreciate
beat someone to death with a sculpture, that's impressive.
Could, but that would also I couldn't even really lift a sculpture like strongly enough to hit somebody with it and do damage. That's not. But anyway,
We got them off of our tail.
Anyway, they wanted to we were able to talk to them and convince them that that we were nobody. I lied, and it felt very dirty, and then things didn't go well, and that's when I was shoved into the wall. So I just feel like I already dislike lying when people do it to me, and now
You
I can
lied?
see. I mean, it wasn't like a straight lie. It was more just like a bending of the truth.
I'm
And
so proud of you right now.
Is where everybody is
A lie by omission.
is where everybody is on the map right now an accurate reflection of where your characters are?
I'm like standing in the doorway, sure.
Okay.
Or like next to talking, yeah.
Yeah.
If this is
I
a
think
platform,
she
I'd
would've
probably be
probably
up
moved
on the
over.
platform, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty
I
accurate.
choose leaning against the table.
Okay. Edik being half in the hallway and half in the room here, you first hear this door open up here. I can
Oh, shit.
you hear that door opening and you have a chance to react, but it is swinging open and you hear people.
Which door is it? I feel like I didn't see what one you indicated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and what kind of people?
Voices of
The good guys.
nothing that you can
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to immediately hush, and then I'm gonna close the door behind me and use backdoor on the door.
Okay.
So are
and
you wanting us all to follow you?
No, so when they open it, they'll fall into the vault.
That's
Oh.
devious. You just
Okay.
murdered innocent people, maybe.
I'm gonna look at that ability. I just want to make sure that I play it right. Okay, so yeah, you guys can Eddic has just slammed the door, or well, not slammed loudly, but closed the door behind him and said, "Hush." You are welcome to play that out for a second.
Something, and I get to do that once per session, but something I would also like to do, I can do it later, because it seems like we're in a more stressful situation now. There are people here. I have turned the door behind me into something of a portal. They cannot get to us.
There are 2 doors to this room.
This is true.
They cannot get to us immediately.
Did you notice that you said shush,
They
but
will-
we're all talking still?
I'm whispering very quietly.
Oh,
They will want to meet me.
well then step out. Through the other door, maybe.
And then usher them in through the one behind me.
Yeah, please. My office is through that door, y'all.
Are you? This seems dangerous.
Many things seem like many things.
You know, maybe I have a feeling I might recognize one of them from somewhere. That would be a good thing and a bad thing.
I do not think that trespassing is advisable even for the closest of friends.
Oh no. They would not be a friend. They would have interrupted me. Us.
You hear at the door. So I want to with the back door. I'm gonna look at it again here. So it's like you find an entrance no matter where you are. I I'm not keen on that necessarily meaning that you can make an entrance wherever you are. Does that make sense? Like finding an entrance versus making an entrance is a little bit different. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Do
All right.
you
Then I totally misunderstood. I was
No.
like, oh, I find a door and then it becomes a portal. That's how I
right.
interpreted
Yeah,
that.
I can see what I think that it's like a if you're looking for it, you can find it kind of thing no matter what. Because like the idea of it being like it's unclear whether it was there before you started looking or not. Like the idea of like you being like I'm going to use back door and me telling you like yeah as you like start kind of like rummaging around like you find in the back corner like a door to the vault kind of thing. And so I think that I would prefer to play it that way.
Okay, then
So if that
in
would
that
change
case,
anything that you would do in the immediate, sorry, I know it took a minute to kind of
no,
give you my ruling on
that's
that.
totally fine. It probably didn't change too much. I believe I would have just like quietly shut the door behind me as opposed to kind of like giving it a little bit of a sound to make them want
Okay.
to investigate.
This is like like a building where there's a hallway. Are there other like apartments or no? It's just all
No,
this
this
one.
whole building, this is this that
Okay.
yeah. Yes.
Does
Building.
do the doors have locks on them?
These inside doors, you could look and if you are going to look,
Yeah.
you take a minute to look. They do have locks on them. Yeah.
So I would quickly like lock both, like just to make sure they're locked so that
So
we can
like
like buy
essentially
some
locking
time.
yourselves into this room here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you lock both doors. And a second later, you hear the door like it's very gentle the way that someone rattles this door. It's not the kind of like rattling that happens when you go to like open a door that you expect to be open like you put in the full force of like I'm going through, right? It's much gentler. It's almost intentionally quiet. The way that, and like if anybody since you all are alerted to the presence of people, I'll just kind of give you hear some kind of whispering on the other side of the door in response to finding it locked. And then there's not immediate further noise of someone like doing anything at the door.
Was it this door here that Edek is near?
Yes, correct.
So Rauka's gonna approach the door
Mhm.
and just, point to himself aggressively, point to the door aggressively, just kind of gesture generally to the door, point back to himself aggressively, and then gesture to the door.
We have no idea what you mean. What do you want to talk to them? That seems very dangerous.
Yes.
I am good at talking. I am very good at talking to people.
Oh,
Where should we go?
No. And I
You,
think
you stay here. If it goes wrong, Ishira will take care of it.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh no, we do.
I'd be, like whispering. I feel like it's hard for me to do like with the accent and the whisper. So, but assume I'm whispering here. Let him go. Gather attention. If something goes wrong, we'll take the other door.
And come back for him after.
Or something, yeah.
Oh, I could be dead at that
You-
point, or I'll see myself out.
Would
We'll
you
figure
like?
it out.
Would you like some backup?
Oh no. You see,
I say while kind of bleeding
Um,
out.
you need medical attention. I believe is the word. I don't want you to die. If it comes to it, you will know when to run or hide. Either would be good in this. It is. I try to comfort. I do.
Okay, let's back away from the door then, if we're going to do this.
Mm.
Can I do a dead drop and incur 1 silver stress in an attempt to find bandages? Or I would just find bandages.
Yeah. Find some bandages.
All right, so I have 1 silver stress, and I'm going to attempt to patch up my, I guess, bloodied side, because that's kind of what got hit in the course of our fight. So like, is there something that I can? I guess I'd be rolling fix.
Yeah, you roll fix, and we take the. Domain wise, I'll give you a cult because you're standing in an Eidolon lab. That's fine. So you can so you can have a cult for the domain.
Okay. So that would be 3d10.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Okay. Yeah. So
Nice.
we'll just do the same thing we did last time that I think Chu rolled a critical success on fix. Is we'll just max out how much you can heal, which is 3. So go ahead and you can erase 3 stress to blood. I will take that off as well. Okay, so Rauka, you going through the door?
I sure am. Let's hope I can not die when doing this. So yeah, we're gonna open the old door once everybody is sufficiently hidden
Kinda
or
hidden.
backed up
Okay.
to wherever they want.
Yeah, so the hallway is currently empty. This door over here is open.
Got it. I'll go ahead then and step out into the hallway, and we'll go through that door.
Okay. You go through the door. Are you going sneaky, or are you just kind of going in to see?
I'm just waltzing.
Okay. Yeah, you waltz through the door, and you see 2 people. Again, it's very dark overall in this room. There's not a good light source. And there are 2 figures in this room dressed in kind of dark robes of some kind. And they are walking through. They're doing what looks to you something very similar to what you did not too long ago in this room. They're investigating what they're seeing. And one of them is kind of whispering to the other, and one looks up and sees you and kind of yelps and like points to you and says to the other one like, "Oh, we've got one." And the other one kind of comes at you and like runs like they're going to tackle you. So like you currently just have someone just running at you like they're going to tackle you to the ground.
The voices weren't
Oh
familiar, were
wait.
they?
Do these look like the air quote authorities? As I'm looking at the person charging at me.
Define air quote authorities, because there are two answers to that.
Oh, right, sure. Do they look like like less like researchers, like demonologists that I would suspect to be doing the tests, and more like armed guards?
They look
Or
like
like a city
neither.
watch kind of deal?
They look like neither of those things.
Oh, damn.
They do not
Okay.
look like armed guards, and they do not look like the people that you expect to be kind of like it. You would not necessarily like your kind of best guess in the darkness, but this person charging at you, the person who kind of like yelped and was like, "Oh God, there's one right there," like did not seem. They don't seem like
Did not seem.
Yeah, because they seem to be investigating this space, right? They don't seem to be like they're not walking around it like it's theirs. And you are, yeah, they're coming at you, and you're gonna have to go ahead and roll resist for me if you would like to not be tackled to the ground.
Sure. Let me double check. Yes, I do have the skills, so we're gonna get two the old D10s here. Let's hope that's enough. It's okay. I'll still take stress, but that's yeah sure.
7. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna go ahead and just take 1 blood stress. Which does that? Do you have resistance?
That
for that?
I still yes I do. So I'm still hanging in there.
Yeah, as you're kind of like you like kind of brace yourself and like twist away it, and like the person kind of like stumbles past you but still manages to kind of like knock you back, and like they're coming at you, and like and they come back up from like kind of their stumble, and you're like kind of dazed from like smacking back into the door frame from this person kind of barreling at you. Now that they're kind of like past you and over here more in the hallway, you see that this person is in something akin to, but not exactly the same as, mortician robes. They seem like it looks official. So when you said like, are these authorities, like in some way your authority radar is getting pinged because they look like morticians, and morticians are authoritative in Spire in some ways. And in other ways, like you kind of like with a better look, you're like, are these full-fledged morticians? Can't tell. And this person kind of like crouches down. Like this does not look like a fighter. This person is like really nervous and like ready to fight you. But like is kind of like crouched down and like gonna come at you. And the other one is like kind of sneaking up on you from behind. Much smaller and slighter than the person that tried to tackle you.
Sure. So I'm gonna just, very, very gently put my hood back up so that it's, covering the horn, so that they're not, as upset about that, at least. And then I'm gonna extend my hand to help the one who's on the ground up.
I think there's been a misunderstanding here. There are are you morticians?
The one behind you, the one on the ground, like kind of does not take your hand, but doesn't like make any more aggressive moves. The one behind you is like,
sure.
What's it to you?
Well, I was hoping that someone who has reverence for the dead could help with a matter. You seem to be investigating the area, so there is a possibility that you are not the owners of this factory, I guess we could call it.
Owners? No. Gross. She
perfect.
she kind of like stands down a little bit, seems quickly disarmed. And like not like literally disarmed, but like metaphorically
Right.
disarmed, and kind of like gestures at her friend to like stand up. And as he kind of gets to his feet, he like nudges past you, kind of like his pride's been a little hurt from getting
Mhm.
from overshooting the tackle. And he
Sure.
comes and he kind of stands by her side, and he's kind of glowering at you a bit. And she's like, so you don't, this isn't your thing either.
No. I am truly sorry if the horn was scary in the dark. I understand. I scare myself in reflections sometimes, so I understand that it might be a little jarring to see it first. What I will say though is endurances, drow can be subjected to all kinds of terrible magics. I would not want to own a place like this nor work here. I was drawn to, we'll call it a demonic waft in the air. Well, I wanted to check it out in case there were people like me here. There were not. There are bodies and ice boxes, though.
Bodies? And
Yes.
she kind of like marches up to you and is like, show me. Very imperious.
I would just, prepare your stomachs and your eyes. It
We-
is not pretty.
We're mortician initiates. We can handle dead bodies.
Initiates is the operative word. There, you are in training, and dismembered corpses are it's different.
Have you ever been through mortician training?
No.
Okay, then can you show me the bodies?
Ooh.
Sure.
Take him out. You
Sure.
can take him. You can drop him.
I could, but I choose not to. That's true power. So I'm just gonna walk up to the door and just knock.
Yes, hello. I have returned with friends, acquaintances, and they would like to see the bodies. They are morticians in training.
Yeah, and they will follow you in. Anybody in the room reacting, or are you just kind of letting this happen?
Chu will put her hood up, like pretty heavily, so that she's not easily identified.
Okay.
I'll stand by the door and wave awkwardly as they come in.
The larger one kind of waves back, and the other one like snatches his hand and like puts it down again.
We're gonna be friends, larger one.
Yeah.
What's your name? I'm the larger one.
No one's asked their names. Just a point. Yeah. So they follow.
No one. Nobody's talked to them. But Rauka's so
That's
far.
true. Rauka has not asked their names. Yeah. They follow Rauka to the over and just kind of look over the kind of the assorted group of you a bit suspiciously, but when they get to the ice chests, the smaller one, she kind of looks at Rauka and is like, can you open this, please?
I certainly can. Now just remember to just take a deep breath before you look in.
Yeah, I go ahead and open it for them.
Okay. Yeah. So you open it, and there's a little bit of kind of like pullback and shock from the both of them, but like not a big reaction. She really wasn't like, she's obviously full of herself, but she's not lying in that like morticians are trained from the very beginning in all sorts of things dealing with dead bodies. And so she kind of after the kind of initial like pullback, she kind of leans in and looks, and she looks up to her friend and she gestures him in, and they start talking about the bodies in a very mortician like jargony way, right? Like talking about the cuts on the that have like separated the limbs and things like that, and kind of like pointing things out. And at one point you hear her mumble like, that looks like a mortician's blade that made that incision, and things like that. So and then they kind of sigh and step back and nod at each other, and they're like, so this again, the woman is speaking, the young woman. She kind of looks around and she's like, and you all are here. Hi. Yes.
Okay.
Hi, yes.
Um,
So
Hello.
I'm Alvi. What's your name?
my name is Mara.
And what about your friend? Hi.
Uh, he kind of looks at her, and she like rolls her eyes and nods, and he's like, I'm Halim.
Hi, was it Mara?
Mara, yeah.
Mara and Halim.
Yes.
Hi, yes. So we're I just heard you a little bit saying you noticed that it was maybe a mortician's blade, and that sounded interesting to me. That maybe I don't, not that I would say that you're associated with this in any way, but wouldn't it be strange that a mortician's blade would be used in something like this? I mean, I don't know. We just found it. We were following him. I'm assuming you met him since you came in with him. I don't actually know a whole lot about what's going on here. I just talk a lot when I'm nervous, so I didn't mean to necessarily be the one to jump in. But maybe you could tell us something. I mean, you could ask us questions. We could ask you questions. It could be like a mutual question sharing experience.
Okay. Interesting. So it's Alvi and the horned one.
Yes. I'm sorry. Are you gathering names because we are suspects in your who did this kind of a thing, or is this just like a meet and greet kind of a thing?
You know, interesting question, and actually a very pertinent one. Perhaps here is a bad place to have this discussion.
I was thinking the same thing.
I kind of like this place though because you can disappear here if you
That's
Never go to a second location with somebody you
yeah,
just
never
met.
go to a second location. No, this is yeah. Shu
Um,
is gonna be like, yeah, I like this location. You can we could just disappear people if we need to make me get away.
Before
I'm
we
less.
can,
I'm worried about the others coming back, possibly, who did this.
Yes,
actually that would be a good thing.
Why
For
would that?
you, again,
but-
remember, pushed against a wall.
Why would that be a good thing? I'm sorry.
I mean,
It would
Confused?
why
be
did you
very
come in
good.
here if you were scared of the people that were here?
Well, because we knew that the people who were here were not here.
So does that mean you
Yes,
were watching when they left?
how did you
Yes.
come to learn of this place? Huh?
Mm.
Well, give it what we've been watching. Listen,
You have my ears.
that's great. I am going to leave because in all of the time that we've watched this building, we have never seen the owners, the users, the people who are here frequently doing whatever they're doing stay here for or leave here for very long at all, and almost never without leaving guards behind. So the fact that it's empty except for you all, um, we'd rather hoped it would be empty, period. But since that's not the case, perhaps we could together go somewhere where
We
we're
were
not
hop-
about to get walked in on.
we were hoping to meet with morticians anyway, so I don't see why we shouldn't just go with these morticians. You can ask questions once we get there. It's fine. We were hoping to meet with morticians anyway, so if we just maybe follow them,
Yes.
and go to a place, then we could all be more comfortable. Maybe.
Shu is gonna walk over
I mean,
to the smaller one and
Mhm.
try to like look intimidating and be like, if we're going anywhere with you, I'm sure you understand our need for assurances that there won't be any confusion and that we won't get mixed up in all of this. I would hate to have to go up the chain and end up disqualifying a few unfortunate, what was it you said? Students? Children?
And
Take your pick.
when she says that, I kind of stand closer behind her to be like, I'm her bodyguard, just so you know. Like, I don't say
Okay.
it right, but I'm just like putting myself there.
Um, the Mara kind of like cocks her head at you and is just like, what do you think we're going to okay? Consider me threatened. That's I'm not.
Great, that's all I needed. And she will
Okay.
head out the door.
And okay. And Mara just kind of like looks around at Halim, who just kind of like shrugs, and they follow out. Which way did Chu go to leave?
Into the hallway.
Okay. Yeah, they'll
Through the non-cursed. Oh wait, is the door not cursed into the?
No, the door.
We
Okay,
backed
yes.
from that.
Okay. So yeah, they'll follow you out this way. Rauka, were you gonna?
Yeah. So after they leave to the rest of the group, Rauka's just gonna, sit near one of the crates.
Do we want to stay?
Yes.
I mean, I could stay.
yes. I
No,
very much
no.
would like
No,
to
you should go and
investigate
get medical
premises.
attention.
I'm sorry, but I don't really understand. The point of staying is we were almost very, very badly hurt, and I feel like right now isn't the time to confront these very dangerous and very powerful people. We might actually be able to get some
If
less
they
dangerous and maybe less powerful allies right now if we actually cooperate with people and go and do things. And you staying here, I feel like staying here is pretty much death.
I just want to perform an
Alfie?
investigation upon these premises. I was in the other room, did not see what is in over here. Maybe something important. I don't want to miss it.
You're welcome to stay if that's what you would like to do. Rauka, I don't think that you should stay here. I think that we should leave altogether. I don't feel comfortable with this. We've already been... Look what happened the last time that we were separated while all this was happening. It was miserable. I don't think that should happen.
Alfie, the only reason why I suggest this is because I learned a very wonderful piece of information from our morticians in training. They said that they almost never leave without guards, and that they always return. Meaning, you said it was very loud when I passed out. I do not remember much. I think Shira and I, we put the fear of the gods into them. And I do believe that we could do so again, this time with a little more intention
Efficacy.
behind it,
Over the table, how much stress do you have again?
I have 3.
Oh, okay, so you're doing actually pretty good. Okay, I thought you were like at 8
Yeah,
or
I'm
something.
actually no. I did have 8, and then I took moderate fallout.
Okay, that's what it was. All right, cool.
I mean, obviously, I'm not your mother, so if you want to stay behind, it's your choice. It just makes me uncomfortable. But I mean, if I don't believe that I would come out of it well if I stayed behind, and I believe that I may actually. I really do believe that these morticians could possibly be a good inroads to something. We were coming up here to talk to them anyway, and they seem open to talking to us. And
That's why I think the majority of the group should go with them.
What's going to happen if... What are you going to do here, and what's going to happen if they come back? What if a lot of them come back?
So it's not going to be pretty.
For whom?
But for me, I'm going to just curl up and put myself in an ice box for a bit after moving some body parts around, mixing and matching to other boxes, and then hopefully I make enough space for myself. I go in, I take a little nap. If I hear voices or some other things there, I will listen. And if someone decides, we would like to pop open the lid, then I let Ashira, I would just we scare them very good, and then hopefully get some information.
Okay, but how much do you know about hypothermia and perhaps
Mara pokes her head
and
back
are you
into
worried
the...
about these things?
Mara pokes her head into the room and she's like, "I'm sorry, were we leaving? I was under the impression we were leaving."
You can't just come into a situation and try to control everything. Sometimes there are
We
more
were having a
factors.
family
Yes,
talk,
we're leaving.
Mara.
I lean in the hallway and I whisper to Mara, tell them you're gonna like destroy a chair or something. They'll come quick.
Okay. In this case, I think Halim and I are out of here before these people come back because I don't feel like dying today. So you can find us if you come to the Mortician's like main building and you go to where the initiates are, just ask and tell them that you're looking for Father Callus's initiates and they'll point you in our direction.
I'm coming with you right now. Rauka, just please take care of yourself.
I will be so safe. If I'm
And-
not, then you can find my ghost.
I
Meet
won't be
us-
around to puppet you next time.
Meet us where she just said.
So I don't want to haunt anyone. So if anyone finds my corpse, find a hyena or burn it.
Definitely, and Mara's like, don't find a hyena. Come to the Morticians, okay? Just go through the proper channels. Let's go.
I'm helping you learn business negotiations, Mara.
You're not my fucking dad.
Yes, I was right. These are the NPCs we're going to know and love.
Yeah, and she leaves. She goes through this the same exit that she came in through. And Halim with her. So anyone who's leaving should follow.
I'm going to leave, but I'm going to make very prolonged, sad eye contact with Rauka as I walk out the door. Just like
Rauka's gonna
I'll
give you a hug
follow,
on the way out.
but I'm gonna make like silly faces as you make sad faces. I'm gonna like turn behind you and be like,
Do I have a general knowledge of where the morticians reside?
Yeah, so like when you were coming into New Heaven the last game before you, or 2 games ago even, before you got derailed to this place, this location, you were on your way to that. It is like the main thoroughfare of the kind of like pop-up town that this is all located in. Like that makes it sound too impermanent, but like this kind of like abruptly risen town does lead to the Morticians. The point of this place is to be a public interface with the Morticians. Beyond this kind of like public interfacing main building that Mara is kind of saying, like you can find her there. There's like a lot of other Mortician territory in New Heaven that you wouldn't be allowed into or familiar with, but in this case, like yes, the main thoroughfare that you kind of got off of would lead you more or less there.
So I don't plan on sticking around the whole time with Rauka, but I would like to just kind of absorb everything that I can absorb within this room and this room.
I will just say, as before we leave, since you're staying behind, as Rauka gives me a hug, I whisper into his ear, if you die, I will never forgive you. And I turn around and walk away. Tyler, I know you want to always sacrifice yourself.
Tyler,
Hey,
call out for
Tyler.
That's a call out. That is a respectable call out, and yes.
All right, so Eddic is following behind after investigating. Is that right? So the other 3 are leaving now, and then Eddic's going to do an investigation and then follow to the.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to move y'all's tokens out of the way so that I have a better lay of the land here. Yeah, Eddic, go ahead and repeat your investigation for this room.
This and this room, if there's anything over there at all.
Okay. That room is largely empty. There's not really much of note.
Okay. Okay, I got a 6.
A 6 is a success at a cost. So you're doing this investigation, you're kind of relying on, again, a lot of senses besides just sight to try and get you to something beyond the obvious of what's present here. So as you kind of do this, bless you.
I
Did you
tried
just?
to
Oh,
mute
you rolled
myself
something.
and
Okay.
You're going to
muted
take
by accident.
you're going to take 2 stress to mind.
Yes, I have resistance to mind.
Okay, so you're at full. You took no extra stress this time,
Yeah, I'm at a
or
total
no
stress
like
of 1.
additional stress. Okay, cool. Then yeah, so you take 2 stress to mind as like this investigation. As you're really trying to like get a sense of like there are these basically on these tables here, these 2 long narrow tables, there was a lot of stuff that somebody seemed to like grab a bunch of. I think I told y'all this last time. Like grab a bunch of like in a hurry, and so things got dropped and left behind. And as you're trying to like make sense of the pieces of all of this, it's like you're holding so many like disconnected but somehow joined together pieces of kind of demonic things in your mind, and it's actually like quite almost painful to do, but you kind of have been used to holding painful things in your brain, and what you get from this, again, these are items that would be used to um, create eidolons or appease demons, um, once summoned. And I'd say that the only kind of additional information beyond kind of the obvious that this investigation produces for you is that the many of the things here are not only, they are definitely useful for the creation of eidolons, which is what this whole place seems to be about, but there's also things here that would absolutely be something that you would expect, like you would want to like almost take something to give to Byron because you're like, oh, I know this would make him happy, right? Or that he would find this interesting in a way that isn't just about like summoning demonic power, but also about appeasing demons who are in your world.
I take it.
You could take something as a gift for Byron. Um, all right, and that's kind of what you turn up, and meanwhile, Rauka is kind of helping himself to an ice chest.
Yeah, so before I hop in there, I want to try something here. I want to go ahead and take the copy of the what is it called? The Torch article that we had opened the season with. And is there anything that I could use? I guess I have the splinter. Can I attempt to write using my blood as ink? We know across the page and put it on one of the tables.
I just really liked
Yes.
Elise's just.
I was listening, but also trying to like adjust like where my microphone like clip on was and everything. So I was like, oh god. Okay. Yes. You can do that. Yeah. So you write in blood. We know on this Torch article, which I've put up on the screen for people watching the stream. If they want to read it again. Yeah. So you can use your blood. You write that. And you leave it on one of the tables, and then you're still going to hide kind of here and.
Yes, yeah. I just want to see if that's going to elicit any kind of reaction out of them while I'm
Okay.
hiding. If they ever come back, I might be waiting for a while. So,
Yes. Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to try to find one that's, I don't know, emptiest. Or, if I have to make room, I guess I can just move some over to another crate. I don't know.
Yeah, as you kind of like open up these crates and things, definitely some of them are more empty than others. And the like it's clear that like people have been coming in here grabbing things and like going back and forth a little bit. And so it's not very well organized. It seems that people are just kind of pulling from different crates. So it actually, you can move some things, kind of redistribute so that the others are more full, but one is completely empty. And old. And yeah, you can climb on into an ice chest previously housing body parts, chopped up body parts.
I'm not going to regret this decision at all. This is fine.
All right. So let's leave Rauka. Eddic is kind of doing his investigation in this moment. The other 3 are following Mara and Halim, we'll just go ahead and put us on New Heaven. Following Mara and Halim back to the mortician building. At the gates, you see
I'd
like
be talking to them the whole time as we
Whole
walk there, by the way. Yes.
excellent.
What's it like being a mortician? Why did you want to become a mortician? How are bodies different? Do you get things that are just not drow? Is it all just that? Are there differences in drow that we don't? Anyway, yeah, just all kinds of questions.
I think Halim would actually like start answering your questions as like time goes on. Like can't handle the like awkward doesn't answer thing that Mara does, and like just starts like just starts being like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess like well, and like actually kind of like starts to like nerd out a little bit with you of like, okay, but actually like the way that the bones and the cartilage is all connected, have you ever seen it up close? And like
I have not. Could I see it
I'm-
if I go there?
Mara's like, no, that's Mortician's business. You get to the building. They get to a gate. You see that again, like it's made obvious once more that these two are initiates and not full-fledged morticians by their clothing and the way that others kind of like react to them being here. Because there are plenty of morticians kind of milling about, talking to the public. There's a few kind of rich people hanging around that seem to have like several morticians like talking to them, catering to them. And there's a couple of initiates scrambling about as well in these similar like kind of altered robes, more kind of like instead of the full black and white, there's like more of the white on them than there is on the actual mortician's robes, who are primarily black, slightly kind of with some white, if that makes sense. And the full morticians also wear these kind of like veils over their faces so that you can't see them. Mara and Halim have instead kind of deep hoods that put them in shadow, but you can see their faces fairly well without struggling too hard to do it. They approach the gates and kind of take you through a side entrance. Nobody stops you or says anything to you since you are being escorted by people on the premises who seem to, belong. And Mara kind of looks around and like takes you down a side hallway and back through another passage, and then she kind of knocks on a door, and when there's no answer, she opens it and you go into a study. It's a nice study. It has a nice kind of big wood table with some wooden chairs that are, in much nicer shape than most of anything that's in Perch. And kind of some books and other things scattered about, some notes that people were, taking left on the table. And she's like, we can talk in here. This is where Father Callis meets us for lessons, but I think we shouldn't be interrupting anything for at least another hour or two. Yeah, ushers you in.
I'll pull out a chair for Chew.
Oh, thank you. She leans down and gives it a kiss and then sits down in it.
What is it
Wipe
about the
the
kissing
sweat off my
chairs
brow.
thing? Because you did say like,
I just said destroy a chair. I didn't say anything
Okay.
about kissing it.
okay, then she'll say instead, she'll be like, so what's it about chairs? Like destroying chairs, kissing chairs?
I don't
What's it
know. They
about?
all seem oddly attached. Something to do with living in the.
We're from Perch.
Well,
if
we're
that
not
helps.
from Perch.
Oh,
but
I'm
some
fair.
of us are, I guess.
Some.
I've never been to Perch. Is it? I've heard it's quite scary.
It's okay. Could be better.
People put a lot of faith and reverence to the things that are there, let's say.
The lesser religions of Spire are just so fascinating to see what all the common folk believe.
So I'm going to say this as just as a friendly thing. Maybe don't refer to other people's beliefs as lesser if you want them to maybe be more open and friendly to you. I guess if you don't care if people are open and friendly to you, then you can refer to it however you would like. But generally, when you say lesser, people think, oh, she thinks that I'm lesser, and maybe I shouldn't actually talk to her about these things.
What religion do you follow? Do you follow a religion, Alvi?
Bees.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna have like a bee kind of crawl out of a nose again and crawl into my ear, and I'm like, I don't really know that I'm one necessarily for religion, just maybe have some strong beliefs about some things, but that's just because I'm a staunch researcher. What I believe isn't just based on faith, it's based in fact.
Interesting. Then maybe some facts would be a good place for us to start, because
Ooh, good segue.
Mara will kind of look at you and just be like, do you have some that you'd like to contribute?
Somewhat facts.
Yes.
Okay, I have a few. One of the
I'm
bodies that
5'10".
came through
No, sorry.
here is likely belonging to my manager, who was killed by possibly the same people who were involved with what we were just looking at recently. And
When you say my manager, you
Sorry.
see both Mara and Halim kind of like give each other like a really like sharp look, and then Mara like leans forward and is like, "Your manager? Are you what? I'm sorry." And she kind of like is trying to see like past your hood, which I think you said you had pulled deep.
yeah,
Are you?
I'll lower my head at this point.
And this
Don't pretend
your
like you don't know me.
Halim is like, "Oh, I think something about excess, right?"
Pretty close, pretty close.
Hey, well, that's
Hey, even nerds know me. That's a big that says a lot.
Mara looks at Alvi and is like, "Any advice about making friends for Her Majesty?"
I have plenty of friends, thank you.
Oh yeah, she's actually very good with people.
Oh, I was just saying like
generally.
you were telling me like you were giving me notes on like not saying people's religions are lesser, so just curious if you gave everybody notes, because just calling people nerds out of the blue when you've only just met them seems a
But
little.
I'm sorry, but you are nerds, right? I mean,
He's a nerd. And she points at Halim. Okay. Listen.
you're just she's a little harder to. Yeah.
Clearly.
Let's skip the pleasantries. Tell us what you know, and we'll tell you what we know if we think it's necessary.
Okay, it's just that famous people, it's kind of a touchy thing around here.
Okay, well then pretend I'm not famous. I'm not here as Chu, the queen of excess. I'm here as Chu, the person who lost a manager.
They kind of exchange looks again, and they're like, it's it's just that there's that one person who's kind of famous like you are and has like all those fans and stuff, who kind of like caused a lot of trouble for New Heaven, and so like we're not supposed to kind of get involved with famous people, because morticians who, do favors for people just because they like want their autograph or whatever can get like kicked out of the guild, and I for one intend to like be the next like lead mortician, not the next person who gets so.
Yeah, okay, so then I'll make you a deal. How about this?
We got a real Hermione on our hands here.
I don't go straight to your boss and tell him that you did me a huge favor and gave me a big tour and showed me all those guts that about people were asking for before. And in return for not getting kicked out for giving me a huge favor that you totally gave me, you helped me and then never tell anybody I was here. That was a threat.
That sounds like a compel roll if I ever heard one.
I mean, if you want to roll compel on this, you can.
If you want me to roll compel, I will. But if you just want to give it to me, Elise.
Now, I mean, here's the question: what do you want the outcome of your threat to be?
The outcome of the threat is that I want them to help us, but not ever reveal that I was here as like a celebrity. Like I want them to just forget about the fact that I'm a celebrity for the time being.
Can I help to give her an extra die? Or?
I think that I'm just going to like nip in the bud here that like you are ultimately asking for the same thing that they want, right?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
So,
yeah.
So like that's why I'm not having you roll compel here, is because like Mara is just gonna be like, again with the threats, but I really think that it's not okay. Consider me threatened again. But if we
All
could
I want every time,
Okay,
Mara.
well,
Thank you.
if it makes you feel better, it's just
Does.
that like
Listen, I'm
I
in
think
mourning.
I'd rather just like nobody know that you were here because of the whole business with like
Great.
that other famous person who was sometimes
Hey,
so
can you give us his name, their name, one of their
so I
pronouns?
don't know what they really like what they go by when they're performing because whenever they're here they just tell us everyone to call them the Swan. Which is like come
Sounds
on.
elegant. I
Yeah.
like it.
I will literally do that because I can't control myself. I will literally go
Do we
and
know
just
who this?
make like
Oh
a
yeah, wait.
huge
The
gasping
Swan's the guy
noise.
that killed your manager.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
So as everyone is like emoting and saying all these things, I'm just like looking so disappointed in everyone for just being so forthcoming and like expressive.
Yeah.
I'm just like oh, like we should be getting the info and we're just giving so much away. But like again, it's all
what can you tell us about the Swan? I've heard so much about them. If you could just maybe describe them for us in extreme detail, looks, height,
Listen,
weight,
your
scent.
friend is like threatening to go
Fingerprints.
to like Father Callus and tell on us if we don't. So like I'm not sure
Listen,
if
that was just, you know how that works. It's just, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Okay,
She just
listen,
wants an assurance
listen.
that you will also scratch her back.
I do have an itchy back.
See?
Halim will kind of reach over and actually like go like
Touch
he's
me
going
and
to
you lose that hand.
Okay. Yeah, and so Mara's like, wait. I don't know about you all, but I feel like maybe we could just take the hostility down like 3 notches because I, for one, just want to know about what's going on with those bodies and all the drugs in New Heaven. And it seems like maybe you have some answers and you guys want to know about the Swan and like what they're doing in New Heaven. And I know a person that you could talk to about that.
I've been fairly hospitable, and I would say Halim has also been fairly hospitable. So, I mean, if you just
Yes,
wanted
but
to
Halim is a
emulate.
little dumb.
Oh, don't say that to Halim. Don't you
Halim-
say that to him. He's a precious baby.
Edik, if you
I guess
were
that
kind
even
of
as a
on your
person
way
who
to
is
find
a researcher,
this
I
group?
would say that being dumb isn't the worst quality that a person can have.
Oh no, I mean
Yeah,
Halim is
look
my
at
best
me.
friend. I'm not. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay,
Oh, you're one of those. Okay.
time. So, Edik, were you leaving to come find this group, right? Okay, I'd say about now. You would, if you were just going straight to and following kind of the directions and asking after the initiates and Father Callus and that, would be about the time that you would be able to like knock on the door and if you want.
Sure.
Okay. So did you want to do something else? Oh, okay. Yeah. So around this time, yeah, Edik appears, and kind of comes in and gets settled. You guys can, catch him up a little. And then Mara's like, okay, let's start over. You
Hi, I'm
clearly.
Alvy. Nice
Hi,
to meet
Alvy.
you.
I'm Mara. Nice to meet you. You
This
clearly
is a
want.
lovely place.
Thank you. This is where I do most of my studying. It's
Oh.
yes. If you ever want to study with me, maybe we could even be friends one day.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. The Swan. That's a thing for you guys. For me, listen. Something's going on. I think that much is obvious in New Heaven. And since this is where I work and this is where I live and this is where I intend to, rise to the top. I think it's time to put an end to it. And if you know something about what's going on in that place full of improperly disposed of bodies and drugs that are messing everything up here, then I would love it if you told me about that. And in return, I would happily introduce you to my least favorite person in New Heaven who knows the swan personally, and you can ask all those questions.
Can we trust this least favorite person?
No.
Oh, okay. And you won't tell this least favorite person anything that we tell you, right? We
No,
can
I'll
have
just point you in his direction, and it's your business after that.
Do you have any dirt on him that we could maybe something? I mean, like the enemy of your enemy, you know?
Can we start maybe by, can you tell me a little of what you know about what's going on up here before I just...
Sure.
I mean,
Let's
people are
see.
being murdered.
Yes, people are
Strategic
being murdered.
tidbits. Strategic
So you
tidbits.
said that somebody you know personally, your manager, was one of those
Yeah.
bodies. And just so you know, like, your manager's body was not removed from Perch. The heart was
Okay.
taken out of her chest, but she was not removed from.
Yeah. No, my manager, her body was mutilated and her heart was removed, and we are assuming that they're potentially related.
Why are they potentially related?
Oh, well, you mentioned drugs, didn't you?
Yes, the sulfur and Drek has been a big problem here lately.
So, what do you know about these drugs?
Uh, well, sulfur is a purer form of Drek. It's produced. People get up to no good with demonic activity, which why anyone would do that baffles me. And as a byproduct, it's produced as a byproduct, which is how we were able to track these people to that place that we found you all in. Was through the production of sulfur, and it seems to be coming out of that building and several like it in the area. So we've been keeping tabs on it for days now. Father Callus is actually, he's, my direct, like, oversee. Oh, what do you call, like, a teacher mentor?
Mentor?
Yes. We kind of, we specialize. The morticians, we specialize, and not many people choose to kind of specialize in what Father Callus does, but those of us who do work directly under him, and he's been having us watch these places. That's how we...
He say why?
And what does
Specifically
he
because of the
specialize
drugs,
in?
or does he? What exactly were his specific motives for having you watch these places?
Well, he can't do it, so we're his highest ranking initiates. So obviously we're the best choices. He there is... She kind of gets a little clammed up. Doesn't seem to want to answer the why, or like what is his motive, Father Callus's. Callus is Kalis, by the way. Doesn't...
Okay.
Yeah,
I
not like
definitely
a
wrote it like a callus.
like a callus on
Yeah.
your... She's like, as to why Father Callus is interested in this, that's mortician business.
Well, as to why the drugs and killings and whatever are going on, that's not mortician business. So I guess we're finished here, right?
Killing is literally mortician's business. Like, that
Oh,
is...
geez, gosh. Well, the reasons why people do things is literally our business. Maybe. If that's a business people can have. We want to know.
I'm going to tell you something in good faith, in the
Hmm.
hopes
Din is
that you will
scowling.
trust. I know Alvi doesn't. I'm going to tell you something in good faith, in the hopes that you will then tell us more things in good faith. That I overheard you, that the bodies that you looked at looked like they had been dealt with mortician's tools, yes?
At this, like Halim and Mara kind of exchange dark looks, and Mara, kind of with her chin in the air, looking away from you a little bit, says, "It did seem to be the case."
That's also the case for the murders.
Murders,
The murders that have been happening.
like your manager.
Yes, like my manager.
Yes, so they
Mortician's
were
tools were
also
being
done by
used-
mortician's tools.
Perch.
So we think that this is connected, and that's why we're interested.
At this, Halim kind of like huffs.
And
like,
I'll look over at Ding. Like, sorry.
Yeah. Halim kind of like huffs, and Mara's like, "Don't." And he's like, "What good does it do?" And he sits down at the table and he's like, "Listen, not all morticians are on the up and up. We're kind of
Knew it.
not supposed to talk about it." And Mara's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "But if we don't talk about it, how are we supposed to fix it? We have
Yeah,
to."
fight the power.
Well, more like
Sorry.
purge the, drain the swamp.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's what Halim is like. We want to find out who among the morticians is selling morticians' tools to murderers, to demonic whatever.
To Swan.
Why you think the Swan is?
Wait, just because you mentioned things were happening to the Swan, right? And that maybe the Swan was getting information or other things that possibly you didn't want them to be getting. They could be one of those people that are getting mortician's tools.
Well, why else would Swan be coming up here all the time if not to deal with morticians?
Well, he's there. I never met the person. I don't know. They've never.
They
Of course
don't
they're
know the
dealing-
Swan is the killer.
That is the key information they were missing. Yeah, so Mara's just like that. The Swan being here, I have no idea what business it was on. They haven't been in some time because, as I said, there was kind of a crackdown after some rather public incidents.
Listen,
She was gonna go
I,
like pout in a corner and she'd be like, "I'll deal with them." God.
Mara, Alim, you mentioned earlier that the bodies were poorly disposed of. This is not the correct choice of words. They were sacrificed. The bodies were used to, and I say this as a person who has done much investigation into similar demonic activity. It is not good. They were used to appease these demonic presences, to try to bring their energies into the world. This is not good, because these purposes were very short-sighted and callous and not beautiful.
Not beautiful? So they were not beautiful? Or they were beautiful? Or...
Doubly not beautiful.
Oh, so, okay. So I just...
So you're telling me that the Swan is behind the murders, Perch? Multiple murders in Perch. Is that what I'm to understand from what you said?
If you're going to be acting on that, then no, that's not what we said.
Wait, did we specifically confess that fact to them?
No, I think this is Mara deducing. Because unlike Halim, Mara's not dumb. I'm
Dare.
sorry. I'm just...
Be nice to my new friend.
I know.
He's our baby. He's Stream's new baby.
Stream's new baby. Okay,
Good
listen.
I thought that was Dirty Jim.
Who is
Met
Dirty
Dirty
Jim?
You're a fan.
It's Stinky Jim, isn't it?
Over it. Itchy Jim.
Itchy
Itchy Jim. Itchy Jim.
Itchy Jim.
Itchy.
Itchy
Not
Jim.
dirty or stinky. My fan's
Just
babe.
He just has psoriasis. It's a thing.
Exactly, it's a thing, yeah.
This is useful information to us because I think the swan, you'll find out plenty more from this other mortician, call him, about the swan, I'm sure, but from the little that Father Callis has told me, Swan works for somebody, and that person is the one doing all that stuff in that place where we found you.
Mm.
I don't. We need to. We need. Who
So
is
then
that
could it
person?
stand? Okay, question. Would I, in character, be able to make the jump that potentially Swan is an Eidolon and is going around killing people for his demon and like eating their hearts or something?
I think if Chu would think that, I think it's possible that
Okay.
that you could deduce that, or I
Okay.
mean, like,
Chelsea.
I'm
No, you keep talking.
just like, so when I say you could deduce that, that's not me saying that's what's happening. That's just saying,
No,
like,
no, no. Yeah,
that might
just that's
be a
like
conclusion that Chu
in the
would come
realm of
to
possibilities that
if you want
I
to.
could think. Okay.
Chelsea says that Halim must be protected in Itchy Jim as so last week.
Yeah,
So.
Itchy Jim is last week. Halima's new baby.
So whoever the swan is working for, that's who we want out of New Heaven. If you're just here to find the
Alright.
swan, that's great. But if there's anything you can tell us about what they've done, how they operate, so that we can continue investigating whoever this other person is, whoever this someone sitting at the top of the of the of the pyramid here.
Before we encountered you in the old apartment, we tailed a group of drow and gnolls. They were carrying a rather large eidolon, a rusted eidolon. It smelt like, and we tailed them. We were then intercepted by guards. Were these guards uh like regular guards?
Also, unless Din told us, we still never knew there were gnolls. I don't know if we ever debriefed on that.
Din never told us.
Yep.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, that's okay. Any of it, or just specifically about the gnolls?
Specifically the null part, but I would have been able to smell the rusty eidolon.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. The guards seemed to be like hired hands, mercenary style, like, they
Okay.
work for somebody. Not city guards though.
Okay. We were intercepted by mercenary guards, not the city folk. And we had the brief skirmish with them, but then they left. But we were unsuccessful at chasing down said Eidolon, but it was close. Where they were going was close to the apartment. But heavily, heavily, heavily protected.
That is very useful. And she kind of pulls over some of her papers, flips one over, and like jots a few down. I think
Do you have anything useful for us?
I've promised you already seems to be what you're after. I've already told you the swan is around sometimes, or used to be. I think in terms of swapping information, perhaps that's even. Let me give you name and location of a person here, this petition that I dislike very much, but is And Halim leans forward and goes, balls deep in the swan shit. And she's like, that, you can find him and ask him more questions similar to Miss Queen of Excess's request that you go unmentioned by us. It would be most appreciated if you did not tell this other mortician where you heard.
You have my word. Thank you for helping us.
Yes, I would also be interested in knowing the locations of the other apartments that similar activity has been occurring at.
Uh, we the one that you were at today, um, and she kind of like verbally walks you through like, 2 blocks west, 1 block kind of thing, and names 3 locations total. One of them would have been en route to where those of you chasing the guard, where you got ambushed by the guards, it would have been en route, that route. You would have passed it, in fact. And the other 2 were kind of a little bit closer to the main thoroughfare. And she says, we haven't been able, this was the first time that an entire building was emptied that we've been able to tell. For the most part, it's around the clock guards presence. I don't know what spooked people to leave that much, that thoroughly and that quickly, but the first time that's happened since we've been watching. So it was our first chance to investigate. I have no idea what's happening in the other places, just that the groups of people sometimes move about these buildings in ways that suggest they're connected. And the person you're looking for who knows the swan, his name is Thean, T-H-E. And Thean is a full mortician somehow. So you will have to ask after him elsewhere. I can't grant you access to him the way that I can get you here. This is just the initiate's quarters. So you can ask after him, but knowing that you have an idol of your own in your presence might get you further with him if revealed in the proper way. And by that I mean don't tell the people at the gates, but tell Thean. He seems most obsessive about people.
Creepy.
And with that, let's take a break. Oh my god, it's past break time.
Yay. Oh my
Let's take a break.
god.
Let's take a break. Okay, so we'll take a 10-minute break. We'll be back at 8:31, 10:31, depending on time zone. And yes, thanks for sticking with us as our players investigate some murders. We will see you in. Just thought of me. That's one of my all-time favorite memes, and I'm so excited.
So much. As soon as she said that, like Itchy Jim is last week, I was like, must make meme.
Okay, we're going to break. See you in 10 minutes. Bye, everybody. Have a nice break. Manage your
Bye.
fluids. Hello. Here we are again. Still us. Still me. Welcome back. We are going to jump in now over at the Eidolon Labs with Rauka. So let's move this over here. And yes, think. Thanks. Hi, Galway. Nice to see you here. So I just appreciate you all in the chat letting us know that mics are working. All right, so back at the Eidolon lab, Rauka has sequestered himself into an ice chest to await and pop out and scare people coming back to the lab. Just a really beautiful
Such
plan.
a stupid plan.
So wild.
You were waiting there to hide and not be found and listen, and then when they like go somewhere else, you would sneak away.
You know, it could go
You'd
either way.
think.
We're gonna see how they react to the note.
Just remember what Alvy said
we're
to you.
gonna play this
before
one by ear.
Remember what Alvy said to you before she left.
I know. Okay, I know.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and oh my gosh, why is my mouse doing whatever it's doing? I'm sorry if anyone is having.
Oh, hey guys, welcome back.
What is happening?
You okay there, buddy?
Nope, I'm hitting delete. You're gone now. You're deleted. I don't know what's happening with like dragging. Why the screen like it won't just let me drag things. I have no idea what happened. Okay, Rauka, you are in this ice box.
Yeah.
You are in the ice box for quite a while. It is very cold.
Yeah.
You are just there in the dark, cold
Great.
for a while.
Sure.
And roll. Let's do like a luck style check of just a D10.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead and do that for me. Okay.
That checks out. Yep.
You are very cold. You are very what would the word be? Like a lizard. You are starting to shut down in the cold. To the point where okay, mouse, what are you doing? Why is this? The point where you're kind of like drowsing because you are so cold that your body is like, I can't. And you don't notice until your box gets jostled that somebody has in fact entered this. And the box kind of gets shoved and jostled. And after a second, it gets lifted. And you are being,
Oh fuck.
you're being carried now.
Oh, shit.
And you hear somebody say, I thought we'd gone through more of the stock than this, but like all three of these ones were full. And like the other one's just like, I don't fucking know. They just pay me to carry shit. And like you're, and so you are being carted now out by people carrying this box.
Sure. Great. Yeah, we're gonna go on a field trip, I guess.
Okay. Yep. You are on your you stay in the box. You are being carried.
Yep.
It's very unpleasant. They do think that this is full of corpses, so there is no gentleness to their and by corpses I mean body parts. There's no gentleness to how they are carrying this box. And you hear some discussion around you. Somebody has a deeper relationship with Knowles in this group. It's Edic, right? Not Rauka and Alvy.
Too. Yeah.
Both of you? Okay.
One of my things is a knoll.
Oh, that's right.
I speak Knowlish.
Yeah.
Okay, that was.
I also have, as a demonologist, a lot of our knowledge of demonology comes from Knowles.
Right.
So yeah, I would know some knowledge at least.
Okay. Then you do hear eventually, although the people who have been speaking in, just kind of the drow tongue, the common tongue of Spire. You do hear eventually, on the trip, some Gnollish being spoken around you. It's very, it's very basic to the point where, like, even your kind of limited knowledge of the language, I don't know how limited we're saying it is, but, like, it's the kind of, like, stuff like, put that over there, no, don't touch that, right? Of, like,
Mhm.
equipment being managed and moved, and handled, is probably your best guess as to, like, what the Gnollish kind of is going on here. So, yeah, your box, gets kind of set down, and sounds recede. You hear some more gnolls, probably much further away, but still in the same place you're in, talking. That's it. That's what happens.
Oh man, I got box snapped. Do I know what they're saying? Like, is it like basically just inventory check and they're like
Yes.
moving shit still? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a great review of, like, Gnollish, like, directions and numbers and counting. Like,
Yeah.
like, lesson like
Sure.
7 of your, primer Gnollish is like, oh yes, I recall that from page 107 of the workbook.
Great. Yeah. So I'm gonna hang out and practice my Gnollish in my head.
Okay. Go ahead and at this point roll resist.
Yeah. The other thing was, has Ashira made her presence known? Yes.
Nice.
That's an 8.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Ashira has not made her presence known since you were knocked unconscious.
Okay.
You have not felt Ashira's presence particular.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna try to make contact here because I am real fucked if she's nowhere to be seen. In my head, I'm not saying any of this out loud. Shira, are you awake? I am. Just if you need an update, I don't know if you've been sleeping. We're in a box. Well, I've bbeen tracking some lesser demonologists that we could show our power to. I need to know if you're there, so you can witness this, or I don't want to be alone.
You feel Ashira kind of stir. It's more consciousness than she's shown, like I said, since you were knocked out. And she frequently communicates to you more non-verbally than verbally.
Right.
And you're kind of used to her various nonverbal cues to you, and you feel this kind of like shudder through your body, as if you are experiencing the cold again for the first time. And you feel Ashira just kind of like she just kind of makes this like aching groan noise. Whatever happened when you were knocked out, you're getting the sense that in some way Ashira was knocked out too.
Okay.
And the effect of it is such that she seems to be groggy and unhappy, but present. And even as this kind of like groggy unhappiness, she's, experiencing the cold through you, and you're talking about the cold and the box and everything. And your eyes adjust to the light in an unnatural way. And you can see inside your box better. Not that that does you any good. You're still in a box, but now you're
Right.
like seeing inside the box in a way that like suggests that like Ashira is kind of looking through your eyes as well and is unaffected by or seems not to care about the lack of light to see.
Okay. Sure. And there's no way we're seeing out of this box, right? Like it's not a wooden box. We're talking about like probably like a metal container.
Yeah,
here.
I mean it's wooden packed with ice around the edges and everything. So on the
Okay.
inside you are
Sure.
essentially contained within the ice, although the
Mhm.
outside is, sealed wood.
Got it. God, how long do I want to wait in here before I do something? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give it another hour and see where that puts me.
Okay. Yeah, so you wait. You feel other boxes being kind of jostled around you. Roll me a luck check. Another D10.
Oh, God.
Okay.
God damn it.
You feel something set on top of your box.
Yeah, there it is.
And that's probably about. What are you doing? Why do you think I'm right clicking when I? Please.
Oh no.
All
right,
and
all right.
yeah, something is set on top of your box, probably about 30 minutes into the into this period of time that you said you'd wait an hour.
Yep.
Are you gonna wait out the hour?
Yeah, we're already neck deep in the swamp.
Right.
I need to.
Go ahead and roll resist for me one more time.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jesus,
all right.
Tyler,
Oh
why?
wow.
Why?
It's fine. Everything's fine. We're okay. This is we're okay.
The trouble that you're gonna
Now
take
you're at
3
six?
blood stress.
Okay. All right. That's.
Where does that put you total stress?
You said 3 blood stress?
Yeah.
That is gonna put me at 5 total.
So you took 2 to blood this time, like beyond resistance.
I had yeah. Yep.
Okay. Let me roll all out for you. This could be so bad.
Oh wow.
All right. All right.
Hypothermia.
So a 4 or less. Yeah, a 4 or less is fallout. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Thank you, dice gods.
You wait out the hour. Your body is definitely now actually shutting down via like hypothermia style. This is very
I
very
warned
bad.
you about hypothermia.
And yeah, you the hour is concluded and the boxes seem to have been stacked among other boxes in some sort of warehouse. You can no longer hear, or well, warehouse you don't know. You're just in a new place. Based on like the way that the Knolls were talking about like inventory and like storage, like you feel like you're at least in some storage place. And that is kind of the extent of what you can tell, and you are at the point now where getting out of this box is critical to your survival.
Yes, we're gonna try to get out of this box, but I'd like to do so without causing attention. I don't want, I hope there's not a tower on top of me right now of boxes, but I'd like the tower.
You did only feel like
today.
something getting set on top of you once, And
Okay,
these boxes,
okay,
these
good.
crates are large enough that you don't think you would stack them more than 3 high, maybe. Because if you stacked them much higher than that, you would need ladders to get them down, and they're heavy, and that would just be a mess, right? So, yeah. So, okay. So you want to get out of your box? Where did?
Yep.
Once upon a time, I had this. Okay. I think this is a fight roll because you are shoving with force.
Oh no. Okay.
And
what's my domain?
You can take
boxes.
Occult is fine.
Great. All right. 2d10. Don't fail me now. Oh shit.
They
Okay.
failed you
Okay.
now.
They failed me again.
Yeah. As you kind of do this, you are going to
Wow.
take more stress.
Yep. What do we got?
I don't know. It's rolling. 1. That's good for
Okay.
you.
All right. Hey, that's
Good for you.
that's
I want you to mark this stress to shadow.
okay.
Do
Sure.
you have
Because I'm not
resistance?
being. I certainly do not.
Okay. So that puts you at 6 total stress.
It does. Yes.
Okay. So 5 or lower will cause fallout. Okay.
Oh, great. Great.
And
Good.
what essentially happens here is you shove as hard as you can on the top of this box to open it. You
Yep.
manage to like push up, and your limbs, as icy cold as they are, kind of do not have the strength to finish pushing. When you let go, it slams back down, and the noise attracts the
Oh,
attention of people from outside who come running in. You hear a Knowlish. Where did that come from? Check over there. Check out right. And somebody, you after a few seconds, you hear someone in Knowlish kind of say something. Again, you're kind of picking up scraps and pieces, but like you hear like something's wrong. It moved, right? Those kind of things. You hear the box on top of
Yep.
your box scrape forward off of yours. And then your box
thanks,
gets
fellas.
lifted and pulled forward. And yep,
Great.
yeah, the box opens. And you are
Play dead. You're
staring
dead.
up at Knolls, 2 Knolls, in fact, who are
So-
staring down at you in shocked surprise to see a person who is not just body parts and limbs butchered inside one of these things, but seems to actually be alive and whole.
Great. So I'm gonna bark at them in Knowlish. You dare transport your supervisor in an icebox?
Oh, what a tack to take. Go ahead and roll deceive and occult.
Great.
Um,
Wonderful. Everyone, keep your fingers crossed.
that is a critical success.
Oh, that's a 10. Yes.
Yes.
They
It makes up for
are
it.
very unused to hearing Drow
Oh.
speak Knowlish, and jump back from you. The one kind of hides behind the other a little bit, cowering, and even the one who didn't like startle as much looks like their eyes downcast. They seem not only deceived but cowed, intimidated, in a way that makes you think, and this is kind of the critical success rolling over, in a way that makes you think that they have been snapped at and talked to like that by many a drow who are in fact their supervisors, and do not wish to suffer the consequence of angering you further.
So, Belle, are you going to help me out, or am I going to have to do it myself?
They kind of scramble forward and each take an arm and kind of lift you out and pull you fully out of the box, and kind of stand you on your feet, and like one of them kind of holds on because you don't seem entirely steady, as your limbs kind of uncramp. Yeah.
Now, I am going to need the itinerary of every item in this room. I want to make sure no one is trying to pilfer anything away or try to sell things off that we are trying to keep very under wraps here, might I mind you.
Oh, the inventory, and the one who is kind of cowering behind like scurries off towards like out of the room, and the other one is like the inventory is, I thought that it was supposed to go to mistress, but if you need it, then
I am taking it to her.
Oh, okay. Then would you, and kind of gestures for you to follow. It starts like
follow.
heading towards the door. Okay. He leads you to the door. And the other one kind of scampers back. And it like says something really quiet and hushed into the other Knoll's ear. And the other Knoll kind of like cowers into his shoulder, like pulls his head down like he's afraid you're gonna hit him, and turns back to you and is like, sir, it seems that Mistress has already received the paperwork. Would sir like to be led to Mistress now?
Get them to sign a deed over to you.
I want.
Accept
If
your
only.
one lucky successful roll and get the fuck out.
Who delivered it?
It might have been. They kind of look around and like there's like one or two other Knolls like peeking their heads into the hallway. And they like make eye contact with them, and they all kind of just like, could have been anyone. I don't know whose job it was, sir.
You're lucky I'm too cold to strike you. Now, I need to know where the hearts have been taken to.
The heart, sir, it's and they give a kind of look between the two of them. You genuinely get the sense from their reaction that they are not aware of hearts being moved about.
Good to know.
There is a very hungry demon. And I don't think they want to be, left starved. They require hearts.
Oh, yes, I believe, the hearts are not tapped here in New Heaven. I believe that's, part of the Perch branch business.
Who do I get in contact with in the Purge branch?
I don't, just if you would like to speak with Mistress, I will take you to Mistress.
I'm gonna just reach up and grab one by the scruff
Mm-hmm.
and just pull him down to my level.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to come with me.
Oh,
And you're going. Come on.
And I just start leading him out of.
where are we
Going to get this settled. We're going to Perch.
But I don't work in
Because
Perch, sir. I work in New Heaven, sir.
What do you do here?
I help with the Eidolons. This is very
I pull out the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Poor craftsmanship. I've seen better.
Oh, yes, of course. And I would like you to roll deceive again.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Too long, Tyler. Too long.
Okay.
Hey!
It is
Okay.
you are being sus. This was a difficulty 1, so you are going to take stress for this.
Sure.
But it's still a success. How much stress? Oh.
Oh.
That's all gonna be shadow.
No.
That's all gonna be shadow stress.
That's 9. You're at 9.
It is.
Oh shit, you're gonna die. They're gonna make you out and then stab you in the face.
No, he'll just lose a limb. That's not the.
Or no, that's still severe fallout. So let's hope
Yeah.
that at least rolls a 10.
10. Jeez.
Oh, you're
Well, she has to roll
dead,
below, so she can roll a
Sam.
9 or a 10, right?
Oh, that's not a 10, folks.
All right.
Done,
So that is
though.
Fallout. At
Fuck.
that's the problem with not taking the smaller Fallouts along the way. All
We
right.
told you
Yeah,
to get out.
I was hoping to take smaller fallouts in the
Um,
crate, but no,
So
I
here's
was
the thing:
spared.
you did successfully deceive this knoll again.
Sure.
The fallout is going to come from the other gnolls alerting this person they're calling mistress to your presence.
Okay.
Let
Sure.
me look at.
A lady in like full
So it was
BDSM
to
leather
shadow,
gear
you
walks
said,
in.
right?
It's to shadow.
So it's gonna be severe shadow fallout.
Oh no, that's not good.
Okay.
Your cover's
wow.
gonna get blown.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yikes. Okay.
Oh, well.
Oh jeez, even Elise said yikes. Elise, who turns
Okay.
people into bugs
All right.
and shot someone in their face. She called
Okay.
a beautiful baby and dummy idiot stupid person, and she's saying yikes. I don't know.
You are
Albie said, "Don't die."
Yeah, Albie said she wouldn't forgive you. Just
To
so
be
you feel
fair,
bad.
shadow stress often doesn't result in death, but something bad gonna happen. So let's find out.
yeah, so you are on your way out the door with this one knoll kind of caught by the scruff. And as you turn kind of the last corner to get out the door, a drow woman steps into your path. She is
Fuck.
no longer wearing the face coverings that your fellows found her in, although they did not know her name or find it out. This is the same woman. You would not recognize her, but those who had chased the gnolls tried to pursue them would if they were here to see her.
Oh shit.
This is the woman that wanted to do the device over us. Okay.
She steps into your presence and she's holding a small token in her hand. And as she kind of gets it close to you, you feel in your body this like vibrating, horrible sensation of Ashira reacting to whatever this token is that that is being held aloft to you. And the token in her hand like raises out of her hand and like starts to spin. And she catches it and pulls it away from you, and she smiles as she kind of sees you, and she says, "Well, this is very interesting that you would find your way here. There were rumors, of course. We didn't know what to believe, but I think my lady will be most intrigued to meet you. Rauka,
Oh,
isn't it?
no.
Valarauka,
Oh,
I believe.
No.
Would she know my true name?
She knows everything. Severe
Your true
fallout.
name meaning what? Like the name, what name did you, let me ask this. What name did you go by?
The
during
name I was born with.
Okay, so
Yeah,
during
during my durance,
yes.
Yes, during my durance, I went as Lenka Miliar.
Okay,
and then
yes.
after the Ashira, yeah, she okay.
She would call you.
Okay,
Lenka.
so now I know I'm in deep shit. Great.
Yeah, that's what she would call. That's yes. She calls you Lenka Milner. I know you've showed me and told me these. We haven't had to use it yet. Yes, that's what she calls you. Notably, she does say my mistress will be most interested to meet you. You don't get the sense that she is, or my lady, not my mistress. That this is because like she just heard rumors and things like this, not your durance master. But you are captured. She has guards with her, like you are well and truly made here. And they yes, they capture you and drag you back, and she's like, well, it's nice that we're already among our labs. It will be quite easy to begin testing on
God.
such a rare specimen. And that is where we're going to cut away from Rauka. I'm a little tempted to call it there tonight because I feel like this is such a good kind of like pacing moment to stop at. And it kind of does change a lot of what I need to prepare for future games.
Oh yeah,
So-
you think with the freaking.
I'm not dead. I just
You're not sure.
I got
You're gonna
Larry
get a
Trainer.
little
If
experimented
anybody gets that
on.
You get to
Yeah.
see how much stress you can relieve.
Oh yeah, how much stress does he get to relieve from this?
This
fallout?
might be a character
Listen.
death, y'all. Might be off screen.
Feel
As a-
free to erase
No.
7 stress from Rauka. That is what you get for taking severe fallout.
I don't think Elise would just do an off-screen death for you. I don't think that would be.
We will,
fun.
Tyler, you and I will be talking.
Sure. Sure. Let's
Damn.
chat. Let's chat.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're gonna chat. Listen, I want to prepare audience and players alike for the fact that severe fallout is not something player characters come back from without, remember what happened to Sam's character last season?
Yep.
Mhm.
You don't
Yep.
come back from severe fallout without an end point in your life. Okay, like there's this severe fallout is severe. So I don't want you to come into next session thinking like Rauka has a great escape plan that will just flawlessly be executed. That's all I'm gonna say.
Rauka's dead. What's your backup character? Can you play
Um,
as that one mortician lady?
You were literally supposed to be
Did you
my
just
best friend in
Mara?
this campaign, and you've already abandoned me.
Aw.
Oh.
Well, you'll
I'm
just
gonna
have
work
to-
my way back before I take a bullet to the heart.
There-
Like
yes.
it will be good.
There's a lot. There's a lot we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So I do want to say before
yeah.
we wrap up, like, you don't get big rewards if you don't take big risks.
I
and,
completely agree with that.
And
I
like,
agree. I still think he should have left after the
I
first.
almost made it
session,
out.
I
I
I
was
would've
here
made it
for
out
every
if-
wrong
for
choice
that.
you were making.
it was beautiful.
I was
Um,
not.
Excellent
Um,
storytelling.
On that note, I want all of you to take a moderate or a middle advance, a medium advance. I was going to give you a low advance for your kind of movements with the morticians, but I think with Rauka now in the hands of an unknown enemy, that is a bigger change to Spire than a low advance really qualifies. So we're going to call this a medium
Did
advance.
nothing for you.
Yeah. So go ahead.
It was all planned so we could
yes.
get that sick medium advance
that
early
amazing.
on.
Yes.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah,
Oh
thank
my
you.
God.
It's what I'm here for.
You know what? Okay. So, with that said, we will pick up with the rest of the crew, and Tyler and I will, in the meantime, be discussing what's going to happen with Rauka / Tyler playing. And we'll pick up with the rest of the crew over at the Morticians Guild, unaware of their friend captured in enemy hands. Next week, after we have some time to regroup because GM needs it. And with that, check us out tomorrow. No, I think it's great. I'm just, sometimes we end 20 minutes early because everything changes, and that's check us out on Hopeful Goat streaming tomorrow at 7 Mountain Time, 9 Eastern Time, Fates of Rin. And then check us out next week on Wednesdays at 7 playing Goats of Saltmarsh with Rachel. And then me again on Thursday, us again on Thursday, and then some of us again on Friday, also at 7. And I'm sorry. And take care of yourselves. Get some sleep. If you need to erase the last 20 minutes of the game from your mind, Just think about Halim, your precious angel baby that you all love so
Helene,
much.
Oh.
There you go. Just like that. Okay. I think that's it. Anything else?
That was a very like Drawfee ending. Like, sorry.
Sorry. I love Drawfee. Okay.
I
Shout
love
out to
Drawfee.
Drawfee. They're on Twitch too. Well, Julia and Jacob are. You can check them
And
out.
mostly on YouTube. Yeah.
Mostly on YouTube. Yes. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh boy.